This is a Misfit Nation production.
You want to be in front of the cartel?
Ladies and gentlemen, making their way to the studio, they are the most dangerous podcast in sports entertainment. Crishaun the Don and Wunda from Kayfabe Kartel.
You're staying. You belong to the cartel now.
Yes. Ladies and gentlemen, I am here, one half of the Kayfabe Kartel, the most dangerous podcast in sports entertainment, because we give you the realest takes in wrestling podcasting. You know the deal. I am Crishaun the Don. I'm here to give you a little quick, I guess, we'll see how it goes, sort of quick Raw review. Raw, what was it? Jesus, what was the date? Let's see. Monday was the 15th. So yeah, July 15th edition of Monday Night Raw. And as you know here, we're going to, skip around, nothing in any particular order here. I guess we'll start. You know what? I'm going to start with Braun Breaker. Because, we've been kind of going on our little rants about Braun Breaker. And I just have to express how happy I am to see that Braun Breaker is finally getting over on the main roster with the main crowd. And I'm sticking to my point, my original point, that he wasn't getting these reactions before. And I'm starting to see that indeed the entire crowd is barking, or a good amount of the crowd is barking. At least this Monday, he destroyed Sami Zayn and Dragunov, interrupted their Intercontinental match. Now, the night kind of started out for Braun Breaker. It started out with him, getting kicked out of the building by Adam Pearce. And I did make this point a while back, and I'll just reiterate it because I do still stand by this as well, that I think the crowd loves Braun Breaker when he defies Adam Pearce. Something about that. Him and Adam, you can argue whether or not they have good chemistry. I'd say sometimes they do. It's like hit or miss for me. But for the most part, they have decent chemistry. It's not Austin McMahon. Let's not, get our head of ourselves here, but him and Adam at least have enough chemistry that for some reason the fans just love that Braun Breaker is going after him and defying him, defying Adam Pearce. And I think it's just where the fans want Braun to be. I think that's his place. He's an anti-establishment character. At least that's what the people want. Because the people tend to he tends to get over when he's going against Adam Pearce. And I said that he was getting over when he first came on, and he was kind of pushing Pearce around a little bit. And the fans loved it. I loved it too. So, I think that's a big part of why the fans are getting behind Braun in bigger numbers now. It's because of that. And then the other two reasons is he can talk pretty well, and he's a wrecking machine. So let him talk pretty well and let him be a fucking wrecking machine, and he'll get over. It's quite simple. And then I think coupling that with the Adam Pearce, like look at the Adam Pearce thing that happened. It was basically Adam Pearce trying to get security to kick him out, and Braun was mad he wasn't, or he was mad that Dragunov got the title shot that night. So he thought he should be in the title picture, and Pearce basically calls security, and Braun goes, "You know what? You don't even need it. I'm leaving," which we knew was a lie. We knew he was coming back to destroy everybody. But that short, sweet, to the point promo, I think works. That type of thing works for Braun Breaker. Short, to the sweet, or to the point, short and sweet promos, and then wreck shit. That's all you need to do with Braun Breaker. And he'll continue getting these amazing reactions. You'll even see there was a point where like at the end of the show, the camera kind of zooms in on Braun's face, and you can even see his face like, oh shit, I'm over. I'm finally over again. So I'm happy to see Braun Breaker getting over. Wonderful. And he's not being boring. He's not having these, like I said, these super competitive matches with guys who are, 2 times smaller than him. He shouldn't be doing that shit. And him not doing that, I think, is getting the fans behind him, because it's making sense now. Yeah. Let's see. Where else can we go now? The Rowan promo. I thought the Wyatt 6 stuff tonight was last night. Well, I guess it's technically 2 nights now, but let's say tonight. Let's pretend it's the same night. But yeah, Wyatt 6. This almost was going to be my promo of the week, but I had to give it to something else. But I thought Chad was great doing his I figured it out. Uncle Howdy is Bo Dallas. So the master has figured it out. And he played up the little I think Gable played up comedy, but still not like making a joke of the situation very well. And I think that's the thing that Kurt Angle did very well. And I, sorry to make that generic ass comparison, but I think that's the things that is getting Gable to be such a pivotal character on the show. Is he's funny, he's comedic, but he's not losing his seriousness. It's just him being serious is funny for some reason. So to see him do that and it not take away from the, like, Jey Uso does the comedy thing with the Wyatt 6, but I feel like the way he does it kind of takes away from the sort of spooky kind of thing they're trying to play off, the mystique. So yeah, I think Chad is playing that off very well. The beatdown, the Creed brothers finally got behind Chad Gable. I still stand behind the idea that this Creed brothers thing is just a red herring. The Creed, if you noticed, when I'm getting ahead of myself here, but when the Wyatt 6 surrounded the ring and came in, Chad actually left the ring and left the Creed brothers in there by themselves. So it's already sowing the seeds of these guys are not as like cohesive as the Alpha Academy was. And I think that's eventually just going to lead Chad back to the Alpha Academy, because they're not letting that go. They're not in storyline. They're not like completely getting rid of that idea. So I definitely still stand by that. I think tonight, Monday, Monday night definitely again drove my point home. I think that this is going to be just a red herring. The Creed brothers thing is just temporary, and it's not going to work out for Chad the way he thinks it's going to work out. But yeah. Sorry, I got ahead of myself on that. I thought the Rowan promo was very, very good. I thought it was better than Bo. I thought it had all of the emotion and sort of the spin to like real life to storyline that I think kind of bridged a little bit of a gap where he took the Luke Harper and Bray Wyatt deaths and sort of like took that reality and took of what I probably assume is real, that he fell into some sort of depression. And he says that he became catatonic. I don't know if it went that far, but it spun it into, okay, this is why, though, this is a motivation for this new character and this whole thing that I'm doing. It's, again, finding the family that he lost, sort of finding a new, I guess, spin, or just a new family in general. And yeah, he's stuck with his dead friend's little brother. That's basically where it's at. So that's still pretty sad. However, the Rowan promo, I thought he nailed it. I thought he really hit every I thought he hit it perfectly. He had the emotion that should have been there. He was crying throughout it. I mean, you know, I thought it was good. I thought it was very good. And I don't know Rowan to be a great promo guy. But yeah, I thought it worked out very well. It told his story. It also gave us the sort of inkling here that we're going to get every character now explaining their motivation for joining this family. And again, that's where I've been saying with the Chad Gable tie-in is that's why I also don't think this is just going into him starting a new group. And that could be something that's revisited down the line, the Creed brothers thing, but I definitely feel like that's just more of a vehicle to kind of get him to reconcile with the Alpha Academy. So and that whole family thing is definitely still kind of stuck in my head. That's where I think this whole Wyatt 6 thing is going down. It's going down the route of, it's not necessarily, it's almost like where the Fiend, and I'm going to reiterate something I've said before, but the Fiend at one point, every time he wrestled somebody or had a match with somebody and they lost to him, it kind of changed their character. Like Daniel Bryan went from the baby face to the I think the, what do you call it? The green vegan, the vegan character. But yeah, there was like I think Finn Balor changed his character after losing to the Fiend. So I think there's going to be an element of that them having feuds with people kind of leaves the character almost traumatized, or there's some kind of like lasting effects to having a feud with the Wyatt 6. So we'll see if that's that kind of plays in to the Chad Gable thing. Yeah, the only thing I guess I would say that I didn't like, but I guess there, it's again the Triple H booking. I have to go into Triple H booking. The fact that there wasn't really any contact, I feel like they kind of just did the same thing. After the Bo Dallas beatdown, I mean, Bo was selling like a crash test dummy. He was also doing the Luke Harper tribute, doing the Yaz. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, Bo Dallas got fucking beat the fuck down. It was a pretty bad beatdown. And he was laughing the entire time. So yeah, the only thing I guess I would say is that the Wyatt 6 save was a little anticlimactic. It was like, I feel like maybe there should have been some kind of contact. I think we're past that point of like just the theatrics. I mean, it was the first time they got into the ring. And we saw Bo Dallas come out as Bo Dallas. So yeah, you could just tell Bo Dallas was like so happy to just get his ass beat. It's hilarious. Like in real life, I think he was just so happy to like finally be out there again. So him just selling. It was like Shawn Michaels in that SummerSlam Hulk Hogan match. Yeah. I just say no contact was a little bothersome. It started to like draw. I think even the fans in the crowd were getting a little bored in the middle of the segment. I'd say I was too, because I thought it was just going to end with a beatdown and no Wyatt 6. But the Wyatt 6 did come out, so we got that at least. But I thought maybe a little contact would have been nice. Little contact. Maybe one of the Creed brothers gets fed or something into the crew. But I also have a feeling that they're not quite sure how these guys are gonna like wrestle in these costumes. Obviously, they're probably not gonna, but they'll probably have like different versions for wrestling, or they're gonna unmask each wrestler, so we know, once they take the mask off, it's not that oh my god moment. We already know who they are, which we already did pretty much, but for the casuals, I guess they have to do that. Yeah, that's why I'll leave that, I suppose. That's the only critique I would say. Let's see. All right, let's go to the give you guys the promo of the week here.
It's the promo of the week.
Burger after burger after burger.
Just jumpy, yo! Beep!
Sorry. Almost did it twice. Choppy. Okay, that's what I'm about to do with the editing later. All right, so my promo of the week for Raw. We're going to compartmentalize these because we haven't watched SmackDown yet. And also Wonder's not here. Shout outs to Wonder. Because promo of the week is usually what do you call it? I just drew a blank. Jesus. It's a team effort. But this week, the promo of the week for Raw, I'm going to give it to Damian Priest versus Gunther. The Damian Priest, I'm a street nigga promo. And then Gunther going straight conservative, MAGA on his ass. Well, basically it started with Damian Priest going, I spent my life fighting on the streets. And that line like literally just fell flat. Like his entire title run, let's be honest. Let's be real here. And then Gunther comes back with let's be real. Living on the streets is a choice. And then basically brought it down to, your parents were kind of pieces of shit and they didn't raise you right. So you ended up on the streets being I forgot what he called them, a piece of gutter, street trash or something like that. But yeah, I thought he was going to say street nigga, but obviously I don't, that's how, I guess I was just into this promo because I really believed he was going there. But yeah. I thought Gunther really just smoked Damian Priest on the mic. Maybe done by design because Gunther isn't usually the best promo. But I thought he was great. He was great here. Damian was horrendous. I think they're trying to make Damian the baby face in this. I don't think that. I know that because it's obvious. And Gunther is an obvious heel, so you can't make him the baby face. He's a quintessential heel. But honestly, everything that Gunther said about Damian, I actually feel. I actually think the same exact thing. His title run has fell flat. It's amounted to really nothing. It's been boring. There's no prestige. And I think it's just a weak, boring title run. and I really want Gunther to take it off of him. Yeah, Gunther said you're not living up to it. You're not living up to the hype, and I totally agree with that. That's one of those shooting from the hip kind of things. And I don't know if they scripted this promo or if this was a legit go out there and go back and forth, but Damian actually did look a little annoyed by some of those comments. So whether it be great acting or what, I don't know, or it just be real. It was a real nerve that he hit. Either way, it was entertaining to me. I thought it was good. There was a point that Damian Priest went off. It was right after after Gunther called him gutter street trash. And Damian went in on how, he deserves to be there and how he's earned this and held up the title. And I'll be honest, I feel like him kind of cutting these promos and saying a line like that is a little bit diminished. Actually, I think a lot of it diminished by him winning the Money in the Bank the way he did, by doing it the opportunist way, the cash in. And I kind of hate that they've made that sort of the norm, that everybody just cashes in on the because Edge did it back in the day, so that became the normal thing to do. And I get it, it's the smart thing to do. However, a guy like Damian Priest, I don't think is one of those guys that you do that with. He should have been a guy that came out and straight up challenged the champion to a match. I guess it would have been Seth Rollins at the time, or even Drew McIntyre, and him winning it straight up from a Money in the Bank would have meant so much more to me than him, and that line would have made more sense than him doing it the opportunist Edge way and kind of doing it the cowardly way. Let's be honest. So him saying those lines fall pretty flat when it happened the way it did. So I think that's another thing that one of those things WWE needs to get rid of, is that thought that, oh, well, he cashed in. Now everybody forgets how he cashed in. It's like he just won the title. He won the title. That's all that matters. And it's like, no, I think the way you win the title has to matter. If you cheat to win, that has to matter in wrestling. It has to. Otherwise, again, what the fuck are we watching here? What's the story? So yeah, I think Damian's title run was diminished by the way he won it. And I think it was dead on arrival, to be honest. And speaking of dead on arrival, they were interrupted by Braun Strowman, who is becoming the new world's biggest jobber. Braun Strowman is just fucking useless. Just useless. What is he even there for? I don't even know. I really don't even know anymore. Does he? Because it's really, he just really took the Big Show role, but it's Big Show at the end of his career. That's what's fucking weird about it. Yeah, I just don't know what purpose he served, I guess, other than giving Damian a big win so that he looks strong. He looks strong on the way to I almost said WrestleMania, on the way to SummerSlam. And I assume it may be because everybody knows he's going to lose, so they need to give him something, but I'm not sure. And then they don't want to give him like a beat down on Gunther, because you don't want to do that to Gunther. Gunther's not a guy. Same thing. Just like when I got pissed off at him winning the King of the Ring with a roll up, which is why I think it just completely fucked that up. It diminished his King of the Ring win. Same thing with Damian. One little small thing can diminish a run, unless that person is talented enough to kind of like make you forget that. However, Damian is not talented enough to do that. No offense, but he's not a good promo. He's not a good talker. He's boring. I'm getting tired of the Spanglish thing. Enough. It's overdone. It's like at this point, I'm like, I can't understand half of your fucking promo. Just stop it. Yeah, that would be the promo of the week, in my opinion. You may agree, disagree. If you disagree, let me know what your promo of the week would be for Raw. And then we'll do SmackDown when it happens. What else do I have? I guess speaking of the Judgment Day, I should touch on the Rhea Ripley return. I guess it's not the return, it's her coming back for a full night of Raw. It was Rhea Ripley night. And I mean, there was some funny moments in the night. Dom just kind of fucking up everything, not getting anything right, trying to get back in the good graces of his mommy. And yeah, just it was It was all right. It was all right. I'm not gonna be too hard on it. I thought Dom was funny. Dom was funny throughout. But yeah, it was like it's one of those things that other than the funny moments, I wasn't really that into it. I haven't been that into it. I'm more like I guess the way it ended, I guess it felt like it was just more of a reset. It was like, okay, we're back. We just had one episode of kind of them being on the outs, and then at the end, because Dom at one point said, "You belong to me," and she got all pissed off and walked out. So at the end of the night, she gives him a rose and says, "No, you belong to me." So it's like the power thing that I guess some fucking homo dudes get off on. But I guess maybe that's why I'm not that into it. That's not. I'd put her in her place. Give a fuck how much you bench press, bitch. The fuck out of here. And obviously, you'd bang Liv. Yeah, it's not a hard choice. It's almost like Steve Urkel. Steve Urkel and his choice between Laura and Myra. It's like you have this bitch that's ready to worship you. I won't even call her a bitch. You have this much more attractive, by the way, Myra. Much more attractive than Laura. She treats you way better. She calls you daddy. She lets you fucking choke her and do, fucking face fuck her while you hold her pigtails, that type of shit. And you have Laura, this cunt bag who treats you like garbage or treats Steve like garbage, and he wants to be with her. I just never got it. I never understood it. Before Myra, you're like, all right, he's a fucking nerd, of course. So it's kind of like now that Liv's in the picture, it's like, yeah, get the fuck away from fucking Rhea Ripley and her toxicity. This fucking poisonous bitch. Yeah, so I guess that's where I come from on the whole situation. That's why I'm a little bored by it. And that's why maybe my bias is pushing me to think that that Dom is actually going to end up with Liv. But is it going to be that, he ends up with Liv, but then Liv is like, once she's kind of out of the title picture, it's like, well, I don't really need you anymore. It's more of like using Dom. So I could definitely see going down that route as well. And then Dom is left with nobody. And then maybe we get, I was going to say, maybe they push Dom to his singles career, but I find Dom might be one of those guys that needs a valet. He needs a valet for the rest of his career because he works well. A valet or a group or a tag team partner or something, because he works better with people, bounce off of and to kind of play that little brother role. But at some point, he's going to have to grow out of that, right? At some point, it's not going to be cute anymore. You know what I mean? But we'll see. We'll see. I mean, it's pushed him more into his, I guess he could go into the final thing, or not the final thing, but the final push into his career, which would be him and his dad, where he has the thing where, hey, I beat you. And his dad's like, you never beat me straight up, though. And then that's kind of the Dom finally beats his father straight up in a straight up match. And I don't know, does he get booed at that point? Is he over as a baby face? Who knows? Because I'm one to believe in the psychology of once you're hated so much, you have to almost do less to impress people because their expectations are lower. So he's going to be hated so much. He's going to be at the rock bottom of hate that he starts doing little things that people like, start to like. They start to go, you know what? I kind of get a kick out of this guy. Or he disappears for a minute and then people kind of miss him. But I could see Dom being more of a like he starts being more funny on the mic, or he does something that gets people to slowly kind of turn the corner on him, and the pendulum will swing the other way. And that'll be a good time to push him into the sort of respect match between him and his father. And then maybe finally, end that feud. I don't know if I want that feud to ever end, I'll be honest. I kind of want Dom to just badmouth his father for the rest of his life. I think it would be hilarious. But and it's a joke that just isn't getting old. I'll be honest. Every time he just disavows his father, it's funny to me. Yeah. I guess it's because the way he does it. I don't find, like, trust me, I don't have like father issues or anything like that. I don't find it funny for that reason. But just the way he does it. He's such an ass, Dominic. Let's see. Hey, we got somebody in the chat here. The Sick Six Horror Kingman. Wow, that's a fucking tongue twister. Let's see. How about Ray retired Dom get the mask? What, Dom wear the mask? I don't know. Because honestly, I think what kind of was why Dom wasn't getting over at the beginning was he was trying to emulate his father too much. And since he's kind of getting out of his father's shadow, I think because he's way bigger than his dad. He's not really a big guy. I mean, he is kind of tall, but he's not like a big dude. But he shouldn't be wrestling that luchador style. So I feel like putting the mask on him kind of like, pigeonholes him into that luchador kind of thing. But who knows? He could do something different with it. I don't know. But I feel you on the respect for the the family legacy and all that stuff. I don't mind the mask being, symbolic. I don't know if I want him to wear it. He could do a thing where he comes out wearing it and then takes it off, gives it to a kid, one of those things. I don't know. Or you don't want to give away his father's mask, but could figure out something with it in the future. We're talking like way in the future, because I think him being a heel is going to be maybe another couple years. What's the next move after JD? Oh, Judgment Day. Well, I assume I get the feeling he's going to be with Liv for a little bit. Unless, like I said, that falls apart and then he kind of, this is where it's like, where it gets a little weird. If they break away from Judgment Day for Liv and then Dom's on, Liv kind of gets, his usefulness is runs its course for Liv. She drops him and then he's kind of just floundering. That's where it'll get a little weird for Dominic. He'll have to figure out what to do. His move, I don't know. To be honest, I could see them like just doing something as like generic. And this is WWE. This is my idea. As generic as just having him like in a bunch of fucking random comedy backstage skits or something. And probably not much progression. Maybe another feud with his father. I don't know where Dom could go. I'll be honest. I really don't know. Sorry, I'm reading this. I got one other thing, I think yeah, I could put this up. I keep forgetting I could do that. I think she is using him. Then when she's done with Rhea, she also be done with Dom. Yeah, that's definitely the generic idea. But I do have the feeling, this is why I think it's going down with Liv and Dom maybe staying together for a little bit, is because they kind of have good chemistry. Dom tends to have really good chemistry with women. So I sound like I'm fucking dick riding the guy, but he I don't know why he has really good chemistry with women on camera. So, could you imagine maybe they go into that to a thing where he's like sort of a ladies' man character, and it actually like he's actually a ladies' man. Women really like him. Who the fuck knows? He's like the real Latino Heat or something. I don't know. But yeah. That's another good idea. Sorry, I'm just having a solo conversation with Kingman here. He can take LWO away from Ray. That's actually a good idea. I haven't heard that one floated out before. Yeah, but I like that idea too. I appreciate you, Kingman, for being in the chat. Everybody else, hey, I see 4 more people in here. Drop some chats if you wanna talk. I'm gonna do. I think I might have talked about just about everything here. I don't really do women's wrestling. I'll be honest. For one, I'm a sexist, and 2, it's just not interesting or good beyond the surface of tits and ass. You may find a few gems in there. I like Tiffany Stratton. I love me some Charlotte Flair. I like Asuka. What else? Or who else? What other pair of tits do I like? Zelina Vega, but that's more of a. I think she's kind of hot. That's about it. How you feel about the Wyatt Six? I actually maybe you didn't hear the beginning of this stream. I talked about the Wyatt Six at the beginning. I guess to reiterate, I like the idea. Some of the execution, like it's not really the execution. I think the execution is great as far as the production and what they're doing, but it and this is the problem I have with most of Triple H booking is that it gets repetitive. The whole what's in the box thing over and over and over. The positive to the what's in the box thing is that I do like that it kind of gets rid of the whole thing of WWE production being in on the whole thing, where it's like, a lot of people are, I'm not really that much of a cynic where, people say, oh, well, what? It's just WWE production queuing everything. Are they working for the Wyatt Six? Like, people are fucking idiots like that. So it does get rid of, though, that little bit of logic of, hey, they're not in on it. This is actually the Wyatt Six producing this in their own fucking studio, their creepy dungeon studio where they have like Adobe Premiere. You know what I mean? But yeah. At least it has that sense to it. But the whole like, her coming out and delivering the box every time, I thought it would have been cooler if, all the characters each delivered a box. But I guess that wouldn't make sense now that you see that, for instance, Rowan. Would it have been weird if Rowan delivered a box and then it was him talking on the tape? I don't know, maybe. Or maybe not. Maybe that would make sense. So they all deliver their own box. But then Uncle Howdy would have had to deliver the first one. So, I'm just trying to figure out some things. But I do like that there is a level to the production. I'm a big fan of WWE production. Always been my whole life. So whenever they get to, fire on all cylinders with their production and their production team, it's always fun to watch. So yeah. We'll talk about the bloodline and all that stuff on SmackDown. This is just Raw. Let's see. I sometimes I don't get like watching SmackDown is a little harder because it's like the weekend and we do our shows the weekend and I'm always editing. So sometimes we slip on our SmackDown shows. But good time to slip on that with Cody Rhodes being the champion. Yeah. Let's see. I feel like I'm missing something. I got the Damian Priest. I got the Rowan. Yeah, I talked about the Rowan Wyatt 6 thing. I think that was like the second thing I talked about. So you can go back and check that out. Braun, that. Oh, you know what? Here, I got it. End this with a little segment we call "Get him the fuck out of here."
Get the hell out of my ring! Out!
Get him the fuck out of here.
Get him the fuck out of here. The segment where we talk about somebody who we're just done with. And this one might be a little mean, but because he just, I guess, had some kind of family loss or something. But Pat McAfee, this episode of Raw, I don't know what it was, but he was goddamn annoying throughout the whole thing. He's an attention whore. I don't know why. I guess WWE just loves him to death. He might be a really nice guy behind the scenes. I mean, he seems like a nice guy. He seems like a fun-loving guy. But he also seems like one of those guys that like you can only be around for like maybe an hour or two. And then you got it. You got to fucking beat it. Because it's like, it's so much, like it's too much. It's like, bro, just enough. A fucking enough of you and talking and your goofy jokes. And that's the thing too. That I guess that's part of it. It's like his fucking casual, ironic humor. It's like that Midwest lame humor. And Michael Cole sits there and cackles like it's a fucking Chappelle bit. It's like, it's not that funny. Not that funny. That announced team, Cole and McAfee. I don't know if people consider that a really good announced team, but I think they fucking suck together. They're good when they're good, but when they're bad, they're fucking bad. It's like it's distracting when they're bad, and their acting is horrible. If you want to hear bad acting, listen to when they had the I think it was last week when they delivered the tape. The I forget what is she playing? Abby the Witch, Nikki Cross. She delivered the tape, and they actually had Michael Cole and Pat McAfee do, commentary over it, because usually they're just quiet, and they were like acting like they were scared, and it was cringe. It was horrible. But yeah, those two together are not a good fucking announce team. They're annoying. They're really annoying. But I don't know. That'll be my get the fuck out of here. Pat McAfee. I guess Pat McAfee needs to tone it down a little bit. The thing I like about Pat McAfee, because I'm trying to not be like pure negativity. Got to give some positivity here, or some kind of like bright side to it, is that he at least comes off as like a fan of what he's watching, and he's not supposed to be the straight man. So like that I can appreciate. But there's points where it's like, I don't need you to like fucking like stand up on top of the announce table and do Seth Rollins sing along with him. Like it's too fucking much. And it's like almost at this point, it's like this episode, I don't know, maybe they were being like extra nice to him because he came back. I think he came back last week, but he had some kind of family like death or something like that, but wouldn't wish any of that on anybody, sorry to hear that. But at the same time, it was like too goddamn much. Enough of Pat McAfee on the show. Too much Pat McAfee on Raw. Too much. And his play-by-plays. His John Madden play-by. It's like they're useless. And they're not, I think they're supposed to be funny, but they're not funny. It's like that. Maybe it's like, I don't know. What kind of humor would you call that? It's like that. I don't know. It's like mom and pop fucking soccer mom humor or something. Like, hey, I'm gonna do John Madden to Liv Morgan and or it's like SNL humor, like new modern SNL humor. Yeah. So Pat McAfee, I've had enough of him. If he like when he was off the show, it was like it felt better for some reason. I don't even know who filled in for him, but yeah. I think we need to go back to like a former wrestler. You know, some like a good wrestler that used to be a decent wrestler, like how King was. He was a wrestler that had good talking skills and became a commentator. I don't think we have Corey Graves, but he never, his career ended before it began really in the WWE. So I mean that counts, but there's a difference when you have somebody who's like sort of respected. And I think that's what Jerry Lawler brought. So they were able to tie that in when they needed to. And it also gave his his word. Like he knew, not even really gave his word more levity. It did, but also he knew how to like be a heel. He knew how to be a good heel and piss people off at home. So, and that's hard to do, I'll tell you, because he doesn't have a live audience. He's in front of a live audience, but his audience is not actually reacting to him. So to be hated, but to know what's hated, but not right away is a pretty good talent. So yeah, they need somebody like that. And I don't know if CM Punk would be that guy, but because CM Punk is like, he was good on commentary, but we'll see. We'll figure that one out one day. Shout outs to Muhammad Bel Hassin. I think that's a last name I have to rush through because I'm afraid I'm gonna fuck it up. Bel Hassin. I have to get right to the end. Happy late on a happy late on, I did read that right. You typed it wrong. You did that, my friend. Happy late on a late Tuesday night. Kayfabe Kartel. I hope you're doing well, man or sir. Again with the man or sir. And same with everybody here in the chat. I remember you, Muhammad. I remember the man or sir thing, the man or sir comment. Shout outs to you. I appreciate you. Appreciate your positivity. Yeah, appreciate your viewership. Let me know what you thought of Raw. I'm gonna get out of here in a second, but yeah, and sorry it's so late. It's literally the only time I was able to. I work a lot, so it's the only time I had free to do this. So if you didn't, if you don't stay up, you can always get the replay. I chop this up and I put them into little videos so you can get them all compartmentalized and categorized there for you or split up for you. I could just watch it for you. How about that? That's basically what I'm doing. I'm watching Raw for you just so I could talk about it and tell you what happened. The whole Drew... My keyboard got stuck there, or my mouse. The whole Drew McIntyre and CM Punk storyline is so confusing. Why do you say so? I did forget that. Good thing you brought that up. I forgot that whole thing at the beginning. Or not, I don't know if it was at the beginning, but the whole Drew McIntyre. Let's see. Drew McIntyre. I guess the whole thing came down to he just had to apologize to the refs, and his ego and his pride wouldn't let him do it. His Scottish pride. I will not apologize. yeah, I guess it was I guess this is why it's confusing. I think, Muhammad, is because they're doing whatever they can to just prolong it. And I think there's a part of them that may not be confident that CM Punk will be able to even have a match at SummerSlam. We're talking about Fragile Punk, Ceramic Made Punk. We're talking about Frail Brooks. Yeah, he's I guarantee you if he does have a match with Drew, he gets injured. Not wishing this. Again, I wouldn't wish that on anybody. I wouldn't wish any kind of like stuff like that, but I'm just saying what I think is going to happen based on what I've been seeing. And Phil Brooks is injury prone. So I believe it's confusing because of the fact they can't have matches, but they want to have this match badly. And they're really relying on Drew to keep the whole thing fucking together. And I think a lot of people aren't giving Drew the credit. He's been, to me, a lot of people disagreed with me when I said this, but he's been one of the most entertaining people. His storyline. However, I do get where you're coming from. I do understand it being confusing, but I think I understand that it's coming from the place of they're just trying to stall and figure out if Punk could even do it, if Punk is even going to be cleared. So I think they wanted to make the match. It may be one of those things that at SummerSlam, Drew comes out or Punk comes out and they don't officially announce the match, and then at SummerSlam they actually have some kind of match unannounced. One of them comes out and starts a match. So could be them again. If they do that, it's because they were just stalling because they weren't sure if Punk could do it. So that's where I think that's where I think the confusion comes from. I think they wanted it to be way more cut and dry. But yeah, Drew. Again, I thought he played it up. Thought he played it up pretty well. Am I the only one noticing though that there's a lot of Adam Pearce lately, kind of pushing around his weight? I'm starting to get the feeling that they may be going into heel GM mode again. But there's a lot of Adam Pearce being involved in storylines and sort of having tension with a lot of guys. We see Braun Breaker and Drew McIntyre. I don't think there's been anybody else off the top of my head, but yeah, so far they're sort of I feel like they're plugging him in a little too much for it to not be like sort of a new norm going forward. Or maybe I just haven't noticed and he's always been on that much. But yeah, usually I see him come in just for a quick, like, hey, announcement. And then he's out of there. But I've seen him like have actual back and forth sort of interactions with a lot of people. And this Drew McIntyre thing came off as heel GM Pierce. Definitely part of the story going forward. So yeah, I see that. Definitely that's what all of that is. Drew just couldn't do it, couldn't apologize to the lowly referees, pushed him around, and then I guess prolonged his suspension. And we'll see if they have a match. We'll see if Punk could even do it. And I get the feeling that if Punk isn't able to perform at SummerSlam, that might be it for Punk. That might be it. So we will definitely see. Thank you for reminding me about that, Muhammad. I totally missed that on my notes. Uh-oh, we got Skrillard. Now we have to differentiate. This is the real Skrill in here. Calling us losers. He hates wrestling fans, I guess. You know what? I'm with you. I fucking hate wrestling fans myself. Not you guys, though. Not kayfabe wrestling fans. The real one. Skrillard. Skrill Kill. By the way, anybody that doesn't know, we do a political pop culture kind of show called The Misfit Nation. The Misfit Nation. That is my co-host there, Skrill Kill, in the chat. So shout outs to him. Let me see. Oh, well, you can see it there up at the top of the screen. Can I point to it right there? Misfit Nation. This is a Misfit Nation production. Yeah. So if you're into politics, you're into any of that type of stuff, life, relationships. What do we talk about, Skrill? We talk about everything, really. Racism is a big one. A lot of people were mad at our take on the Hulk Hogan racism accusations. And that's just a little taste of what we do on our main channel. So go check out that video, and then if you like that, go to our main channel at the Misfit Nation. At Misfit Nation, excuse me. No the. That's on YouTube. Subscribe to Kayfabe Kartel if you are not already. I believe the Sick Six Horror Kingman. I feel like I've seen you before, but I'm not 100% sure. But shout outs to you if you're new. Go ahead and subscribe. Let's see if you could bring back, what is this nonsense? If you could bring back one wrestler for one last match, who would it be? It'd be Grizzly Smith. And it would be so that Jake the Snake versus Grizzly Smith in a death match, father versus son. Both are going to be completely wasted on cocaine, barbiturates, and beer. And there'll be thumbtacks and beds of nails and explosions. Is Jake the Snake died, right? Is he still alive? I feel like I should know this. I think he's still alive. But Grizzly Smith, boy, he was a monster, wasn't he? He was a jerk. Jake the Snake. Yeah, he's still alive. Thank God. Praise the Lord. I think, what did I hear last time about Jake the Snake? He had cancer, right? Something like that. Ten children. Jesus Christ. Guy got busy. Bring back one wrestler. Is that from the dead? Oh, I think you just said from the dead. Bring back one wrestler for a match. I'd bring back well, we got Austin, so I wouldn't even ask that. Is it in their current state? Wait, what's going on with simps? Dom is a simp. Yeah, that's my problem with the storyline. That's what I was saying earlier. Is that it's like, what are you doing? I think that's the whole thing. Is he's not even a is a cuck and a simp the same thing? Because I feel like it's almost two different levels to the same thing, right? Cucking is where simps eventually get. Simping is it's the father of cucking, right? Something like that. Without simping, you couldn't have cucking. So I think he's a cuck. He was simping on Raw. But I don't know. What is it when the girl's throwing herself at him and he doesn't want it? That's not simping. That's called gay. Faggotry. I don't know. It's one of those storylines. It's just not real. It's not real reality. You know what I mean? That's where I get with, for instance, the Wyatt Six coming out. It lost a bit of the reality when they didn't actually like attack the dudes, and then they came out and then they did the like, we have the lantern. Let's all pose now because we're scary guys. Like, I feel like in real life, why would they do that? I get it, suspension of disbelief, but it was a little like almost like when you watch Blade and they're doing their vampire thing, but they're extra vampire-y and sexy with it. And they're it's like too much. That's not how vampires would act. They'd be fucking fiends and scary. They'd be like homeless people, like those homeless feral people. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's like things like that. It's like it's not reality. It's just, again, I said this a long time ago, but this is what happens when you have nerds and, like you said earlier, simps and fucking dudes who never actually got the girl in real life writing storylines about bitches. This is what they come up with. It's just like when you watch any kind of show or movie written by some fucking nerd. All the women are these like powerful, scary. They're almost scary. They're intimidating. They'll put a boot to your throat and hold it there. Ooh. And it's like, because that's how those nerds saw women. They were intimidated by them. You're seeing the depiction of what fucking simps and nerds see women as. That's what women's wrestling is in general. That's why I kind of hate it. I'll be honest. They're all like, what it's what, like, again, they're just depicting what they saw in a movie. Some feminist bullshit movie. Uma Thurman or something. And they're replaying that in their head, and they're all doing that character, that version of that character in reality. So yeah, and it I guess it works with with some of these fans, because it's just, I don't know. Like there's a couple women that you look at and you go, okay, like Nia Jax. Everybody hates her for some reason. But I look at her and I'm like, all right, she looks like a woman that could actually like fucking fuck somebody up if she needed to. That makes sense. But I don't know. They just, it's like, it's too real for them, I guess. It's too real. So, yeah, but these are also fans that accept a fucking transsexual in AEW and call him a woman. So it's like, what can you say? And you know, I could make an argument that could actually work in wrestling, a transsexual, because if you and wrestling is losing this part of wrestling, which is why it's kind of lame now, is that a lot of people forget that wrestling started kind of as a carny thing. At least it became that. And it was this sideshow freak kind of fucking thing. It was part of the sideshow. And that's why WWE in the 90s worked so well, because it was still the sideshow. And a transsexual in wrestling could work, but we have to acknowledge that it's a transsexual. It's like the bearded lady. If it's a dude that's dressed up as a woman, then bearded lady isn't really that impressive. But a bearded lady is fucking insane. You get what I'm saying? So if you're like, hey, here's this this transsexual wrestler, yeah, that's part of the freak show. So why not? Why not have that actually part of it? But again, you can't, because wrestling is, it's like real to them now. It's all real. So that's where we believe, like, we're supposed to, this is the one place we should be able to acknowledge that's really a dude. You know what I mean? Everything is fake. Everything is kayfabe, but except for that dude's penis. That's I don't know. I'm not touching it. Literally and figuratively. So that yeah, that's where I think wrestling is, and it's like a real competition to these people. But it's also like it's like fantasy. Like you watch these guys that are like, you know, they're not even, they don't even look like they could go to the gym, half of them, and they're beating guys that are fucking 3 times their size. Wrestling now is like if the 1-2-3 kid won the first match. That's what it is. It's the flippy guy. He actually wins. And the big guy is the one struggling. And that almost fucked up Braun Breaker. I'm telling you. You see Braun Breaker just fucking destroying these two idiots. He speared Sami Zayn out of his shoes. He shouldn't have a problem with these guys in matches. Yeah. So, I don't know. It's just not a real competition. It's entertainment. I guess real competition is entertaining to them. I don't understand it. That's why I can't call myself a wrestling fan anymore. I'm a casual, used to be diehard fan. Used to be. Let's see. Size doesn't matter. Kingman. Size does not matter. Ask Floyd, Mayweather, and Tyson. Mike Tyson. Floyd Mayweather would not beat Mike Tyson. Maybe he'd tire him out and then it'd go to the card. He'd be able to do that, but he wouldn't be able to go hand to hand with Mike Tyson. Stop it. You couldn't even believe that, Kingman. You couldn't even believe that. Let's see what else we have. Skrill understood all of that. About the trannies, yeah. It's true. It's funny, but it's true. That's my whole shtick. Say transform or you get in trouble. I've been there, done that, Kingman. Been there, done that. Go to our main channel, Misfit Nation. You'll see we're demonetized over there because of those reasons. Any new updates on Roman Reigns or on his return and everything? I honestly, I haven't seen. I try to stay away from certain things like people like dirt sheets. Oh, Roman is we saw Roman at a McDonald's in fucking Anaheim, and WWE is about to be there in 3 weeks. And it's like I don't really, the dirt sheets I think have ran their course, and I don't think they're based on actual sources anymore. I think it's just Dave Meltzer and his fucking minions just making shit up, because his ratio of being right has been pretty bad lately. And I think WWE is purposely throwing out stuff to fuck with them. So throwing out bad information to fuck with him and actually take down his credibility. So I think I think the dirt sheet days are kind of past. They've been better on keeping things quiet or not having leaks come out. There was a point in the Vince McMahon days that he had fucking just holes all over his boat, and anything he was trying to do was just getting leaked, literally like within hours. And then I think he tried to even put out like false information, and it came out like, oh no, this information is false though. Like he couldn't do anything to combat it. So yeah, I guess Triple H, and I guess it's the whole corporate brand that took over and all that stuff. They're just more careful on their information. So then Vince McMahon and his brain trust. All right, well, I guess I'll get out of here. Wait, did I misconstrue? That's not what I'm saying. I'm talking about they size. Wait, I don't get it. I felt like you were saying Floyd Mayweather fighting Mike Tyson. You mean like they're not big guys for even their like their weight classes? Is that what you're saying? Because I think that's true, right? They're both kind of even small for their own weight classes. Because Mike wasn't like, he was just a fucking like concrete face. Vince couldn't stop talking to the bitches. Why do you have to be crass? You know I don't go for that kind of language, Skrill. He wasn't talking to him. He was fucking him and shitting on him. And you know what? Let's not even go there. Pillow talking. There you go. Clean it up. We cleaned it up on Kayfabe, huh? Sean Ross Sapp is one source that I trust. Same with Fightful and not Dave Meltzer. No offense. And not Dave Meltzer. Yeah, I've heard things about actually I've heard things about all those names, but I don't really get into that stuff. I'm like already tied into political stuff. So this is like wrestling is like where, it's kind of like just a fun thing for me. I've always loved wrestling since I was a fucking 4 years old. And thanks, Grill. No, we let it fly on this one too. But yeah, that's the brand. You know the brand. Come on. But yeah, I don't want to get into the politics of wrestling, I'll be honest. So I mean, if you're into those guys and you like watching their stuff, go ahead, please. As long as you make some time for Kayfabe Kartel, huh? Let's see. Did I miss anybody in the chat? I think I only had those guys. You three guys. Appreciate you all. All right, I'm going to get out of here. I thank you guys for watching along. Go ahead and follow me on X at Crishaun the Don. Crishaun the Don. Right there. You can see it. Spelled just like that on X. And like I said, Misfit Nation on YouTube and Kayfabe Kartel. Subscribe to the Kayfabe. We'll have some more content coming very soon. And I'm out of here. And don't forget, run.
This is a Misfit Nation production.
You want to be in front of the cartel?
Ladies and gentlemen, making their way to the studio, they are the most dangerous dangerous podcast in sports entertainment. Crishaun the Don and Wunda from Kayfabe Kartel.
You're staying. You belong to the cartel now.